are trying to think of spaces for meeting, spaces for discussion, for dialogue, for tolerance, and of course for change. Holding spaces, it's not only about physical spaces. We had three main topics, which were physical spaces, virtual spaces, and mental spaces.
Cluj is a space where people from around Europe are coming to study for work, but also from around the world. It's a really interesting space to explore questions of what brings us together, who is included, who is excluded and why discrimination happens, how discrimination happens, and how we can create alternative moments and alternative occasions together to overcome this. The situation here in Cluj is one where there's a lot of tension over who has access to what space, whether that is the right to the city and certain racialized groups who are effectively excluded from being in the public space, whether it is the possibility of people getting affordable rent or affordable housing in the city, or speculation on property prices and commercial property.
It is very meaningful and symbolic that the Transeuropa Festival of 2023 is taking place in Cluj, in Romania, in Eastern Europe. We have a war taking place right now in Europe. Being a pan-European organization and being a pan-European civil society actor, we have a responsibility of showing that we are truly meaning transnational in the full sense of it, in the global sense of it, and we have to do what we preach.
I've been working for now 3 years with different communities living in Patoret. It's a research mainly about self-representation and how do you try to create other images with the people concerned.
Problema e cu chiria asta și dacă se poate face ceva sau să audă careva să mă ajute.
I first heard about the Trans-European Festival on social media platforms. Holding spaces means to me that there are different levels of spaces, from just the physical spaces, but also mental, which I never thought about before.
Is about a collective action for me, and I believe being part of a common space is holding it together. It is a lot about all the different spaces and how interrelated they are.
If I think the European Union is a person of the LGBTQI community, it's a safe space for me to be and fight for my rights in a bigger context that makes me feel seen without being at risk. Transeuropa is diverse, Transeuropa is inclusive, Transeuropa is alternative.